In the last video, we talked about functions with pass-by value and pass-by reference. Today, we will talk about while loops and do-while loops in C++. Sometimes in your code, you want to repeat a certain statement multiple times, like for example, creating a counter. Well, what you can do is hard-code the values like this, but it's not efficient and it's not smart enough, because what if you want to count till 1000? This will take multiple lines of code and you will write thousands of cout like this in order to achieve this counter. This is not efficient. That is why we need to use something called a loop. Today we will learn about the while loop and the do while loop, and in the next video we will learn about the for loop. Let's start with the while loop. So this is the basic structure of a while loop. Let's go up here and write while. And the while loop is simply a loop that takes a certain condition inside those parentheses. So I'll write condition, and after it will take a block of code. So let me go ahead and comment this out so we can understand even more. So here comes a block of code, and this block of code will be repeated as long as the condition inside the while loop is true. So if the condition of the while loop is true, the block of code will keep on repeating. Otherwise, if the condition is false, that means the while loop will terminate and the block of code won't be repeated anymore. Now let's go ahead and see how we can build the same counter like this using a while loop. So let's start. When you want to build a while loop, you should always have some sort of variable that will act as your counter. This variable will also serve as a condition for the while loop. Let me go ahead and create an integer variable, and I'll call it counter, and I'll set it equal to 1, for example. Now let's go ahead and define our while loop. So I'll say while, and inside the parentheses comes the condition, and right here comes the block of code. Let's go ahead and create the condition. So what is my condition? First of all, we want to build a counter, okay? So I want to be able to say round 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and I will stop when I will say the round 5. So I want to stop right here. I don't want to continue till round 6, 7, 8, and so on. So I want to have a limit. So my limit is 5. What could I say is I will say something like this. I'll say counter less than or equal to 5. What I'm saying here is while counter is less than or equal to 5, go ahead and execute the block of code below. What I'm going to write inside this block of code is that I'm going to say cout, and I'm going to say something like round and counter. You'll see why later. And now I want to make sure to increment the counter at each iteration. Let me tell you why later, but let's go ahead and see the output. So if I go ahead and compile and then launch, as you can see, round 1 till 5. But why? Let's go ahead and see why. So basically, counter starts at 1, right? And we said inside the condition while counter less than or equal to 5. So 1 less than or equal to 5, it's true. So what will happen? This block of code will be executed. So this message will be printed. And then what will happen is that we will counter plus, or we will increment the counter by 1. Why did we do that? Well, let me tell you something. If I go ahead and take it off, look what will happen. We will get something called an infinite loop. And let me explain what's an infinite loop. As you can see, we're not stopping. This is called an infinite loop. And an infinite loop occurs when the condition inside the while loop is not met. And basically, when we actually launched our code, you saw that we are only printing round 1, 1, 1 multiple times. That's because the counter is still 1 and it will never become greater than 5. So why greater than 5? Because we want the condition to terminate. So in order for the condition to terminate or evaluate false, counter must be greater than 5, right? So if we don't put this increment right here or this statement right here, we will obtain something called an infinite loop. That is why this statement right here is very important. And so this is how you build a while loop. And of course, if you change the condition, for example, if I say less than or equal to 6, I will get round 1 till 6. Watch this. So I'll compile and then launch. As you can see, round 1 till 6, it will stop till 6. Why? Because what happened is that counter became 7. If I go ahead and print, for example, counter right here, for us to see what will happen, this will make it more clear. So I'm gonna compile and then launch. As you can see, counter became 7. And when counter becomes 7, look what will happen. Is 7 less than or equal to 6? No, this is false, so that is why the condition terminates and the block of code will not be executed anymore, and so the while loop terminates and there is no more loop, okay? Now let's go ahead and do another example. Let's go ahead and count from 5 till 1. So because we want to start from 5, it will make sense for me to change my counter and make it start from 5, right? And now we need to change the condition, because the condition doesn't make sense in our case or in our problem, right? Because we want to count from 5 till 1. So think of this: if you want to count from 5 till 1, that means you are decrementing your counter or subtracting by 1 at each iteration. That means here I should decrement my counter. So my counter starts from 5, and at each iteration my counter will decrease. So we're subtracting by 1, right? But now I need to change the condition, because the condition doesn't make sense here. But what happens if I leave it like this? Well, you guessed it, we should get an infinite loop. Let's go ahead and see it. So, like this. As you can see, I'm getting an infinite loop, and I'm not stopping anywhere. Let me stop it right now and clear the interface. So what we need to do is stop somewhere. So basically, if I go ahead and change this condition and say counter greater than 0, for example, what will happen now is that my while loop will terminate somewhere. So there is an endpoint, which is 1. So what will happen, and I forgot to actually print counter, the counter variable, we could see what will happen with it. So I'll say something like cout counter right here, and at the end counter will become 0. And this is why the condition of the while loop will terminate. As you can see, counter here is 0. So what happens is that at each iteration, this message will be printed, as well as this statement will be executed. So you are decreasing or decrementing your counter at each iteration. And at some point, counter will be equal to 0. And because it will be equal to 0, so what will happen here is that while 0 greater than 0, this is false. So the condition of the while loop is false. So the loop will terminate. And so I hope this makes sense. This is how you can create a while loop that starts from a reverse order. And so always keep in mind that a while loop must have a condition that it will reach. If your condition is always true, just like what we did earlier, like this, we said less than or equal to 6, this condition is always true, right? Because we're decrementing our counter, and so it always will be less than or equal to 0. So this is why you'll end up with an infinite loop, and this you need to avoid. So let's go back to the same code, which is counter greater than 0. So right here, just a refresher, we are simply printing around 5 till 1, so we're going backwards. Again, this is it. So what I want to do right now is I want to stop at some point. If I tell you right now, I want you to stop when counter becomes 3. What you can do here? Think of something. Well, what you can do first of all is to check if counter becomes 3, right? So I'll say something like if counter equal to 3, now I need to stop the loop. But how do we stop a loop? So how can you stop a while loop? Well, there's a keyword that you can use to stop a certain loop or a certain statement. So it is the break keyword. And we saw this keyword when we were talking about switch statements. The break keyword is used to get out of a certain block. So this break keyword right here, as soon as the if statement evaluates true, this keyword will be executed. And so what it means is that it tells the compiler to exit out of the loop. So to break off the loop or stop the loop, for example. So what will happen? It will get out of the loop and continue the flow normally. Let us see it, okay? So I'm going to compile and then launch. As you can see, around 5 and then 4 and stop. So what happened is that we printed this message. So we start at 5 and we print this message, and then we decrement counter by 1, which will become 4. This condition will be checked, and so it will evaluate false because 4 is not equal to 3. Then the while loop again starts over. It will print round 4, as you can see right here, and decrement counter, which will become 3. And then now 3 equal to 3, this is true, so that's why it will break. That means it will exit out of the while loop. And this is how you can have more control in your while loop and how you can break out of the loop whenever you want, even if the condition is not met. Now there is another type of loop that I want to show you, and it is the do while loop. Now what's the difference between a do while loop and a normal while loop, right? So the main difference is that the do while loop has one feature extra than the while loop, the normal while loop that we know. Let's say I have a variable called counter again, and it is set equal to 6, okay? To create a do while loop, you start by saying do, okay? And then open and close curly brackets, and then you mention the while loop. So this is the basic structure of a do while loop. and make sure you add, of course, the semicolon at the end. Now, inside this, of course, parentheses, the condition will appear there. Let's say the condition is while counter less than or equal to 5. Now, I know the counter here is 6, so this will evaluate false, right? Well, yes, it is. But let me go ahead first of all and fill the block of code, and we will see what will happen with the output. So I'll say something like cout round like this, and I'll say counter. Okay? So now you're telling me it won't work because the condition is false. Well, let's see. Let me go ahead and write something like counter plus plus, incrementing the counter, but let's go ahead and see what will happen. Will the while loop, or excuse me, the do while loop work, or will it not work? Well, it did work, and it printed round 6. So what happened exactly? So let's talk about the feature of the do while loop. So the do while loop, what will it do is that it will give you one free pass if you want. So what will happen at the beginning, you have one free pass even if the condition evaluates false. So it will execute anyway the block of code. I'm talking only at the beginning. It will execute the block of code anyways, regardless of the condition. So this is why we got round 6 right here, and I deleted the interface. Let me go ahead, execute again, and as you can see, we got round 6. So what happened? It executed anyway the block of code, regardless of the condition, and then at the next iteration, it checked the condition. So we have 7 right now because we incremented the counter, so counter became 7. So 7 less than or equal to 5, this is false. That is why it exits out of the loop. So that's why there's no repetition or no loop. So remember, with a do while loop, you have a free pass. That means at the beginning, the block of code will be executed no matter the condition. This is the special case or the special feature that the do while loop has, and it is different from the while loop. Now you're going to ask me that which loop you will use most of the times. Well, it will be the while loop. Honestly, I've never used the do while loop in my entire life. But again, as a C++ developer, you must know about the do while loop and the while loop. And so this is it on while loop and do while loop in C++. Make sure to subscribe to stay up to date for the next video where we'll talk about for loops in C++. Thank you for watching today's lesson. And now I invite you to click on one of these end screens that will appear right now, and I hope to see you in the next video.